Good evening, everybody. This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. Live stream in the building. Let me go ahead and check what is going on. If you are here in the building, please make your presence be known. Please also let me know if you can hear. I've been having audio issues with my phone. Always something. And I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. So let's make sure we can be heard. Big shout out to the African superstar family, guys. Can you hear me? You can hear? You can hear or you can't hear? Because I can't hear, so I'm trying to make sure that you can hear me. You can or can't hear. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on, but I can't hear, but I'm glad you can hear. What's up, African superstar family? Big shout outs to the African superstar family. Please make sure that you guys like the stream when you come in. Moderators, you guys have a wrench and keep me updated on the like count. Okay, so first give big shout outs to the customers of the AfricanSuperstar.com. I'm getting ready to bring out a new collection for you guys. So I know obviously the customers of African Superstar will be excited about that. We still have an amazing collection. You know, feel free to shop. Black Lover Stay Single, Pan African King, African Superstar X Ghana, and I will be bringing out my new collection momentarily. Also, big shout outs to our members only who are designated by the circle next to their name. I really appreciate all of the support from our members only. They're designated by their circle, so that's how you know them. When you see them, show them love. Also, big shout outs to everybody who has been showing love and support to our music project. We recently released the third single. We are currently raising funds for the next music video. All my Ghana folk will be excited to know that I have finally, yes, set up my Momo accounts. Several people have asked me, hey, do you have Momo? So that they can contribute and donate and all of that. So I do have Momo. So if anybody needs it, let me know. Okay? Today I want to talk about this topic. This is a very realistic question. We have to assess the direction that the Black Americans are going in, the behavior that they are exhibiting, the choices that they're making, and determine are their actions solidifying the community or are their actions detrimental to the community? Okay. That is what I came to talk about tonight, because at first glance, we would wonder how exactly they're going to continue to thrive and whatnot with the current state of the community in Black America. You guys know recently, if you've been paying attention to this channel, I started a new series which is called America is So Dangerous. I started this series to show people in the international community more of what goes on in America from day to day. Big shout outs, guys. If you're here, leave me something in the chat so I can greet you. All right. And it's really unfortunate, as I'm covering other stories and preparing other episodes, it leads me to ask this question, which is, will the Black American become extinct? In a couple of the upcoming episodes of my new series, you have whole families that have been wiped out. You know, mom, dad, kids. In my very first episode, you had a mother, early, I believe she's 21, 22-year-old mother killed, and her 1-year-old daughter killed. Okay? These things are happening, and these things have a ramification, okay? Especially when young people are killed. They are the future of tomorrow. there is an epidemic happening in the U.S. in regards to violence pertaining to young Black children. All right. In addition to that, we have, other contrary influences that are impacting our kids. Guys, can you hear me? I'm just double checking. Can you guys hear me? Please let me know, because I can't actually hear. So I don't know. I just want to make sure before I get into this topic. Because last time I was going strong for like 15 minutes and I got to know that I could not be heard. Can you hear me, guys? So this is a question. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Okay, this. Cynthia is still saying she can hear me. Much love. Thank you so much for answering the question. The others are just watching. I don't know. This is a subscriber only chat. Therefore, if you're not subscribed, you can't leave messages. No, I'm just on YouTube at the moment. I'm just on YouTube at the moment. So we look at what's happening modern day. We look at all the division that goes on within the Black American community. We look at the state of the Black family. The union of the Black male and the Black woman. All these things are indicating severe consequences for the future if we don't get on the right track. We even have some members of the diaspora coming to the continent and causing trouble here too. So we wonder about the state, the future of the Black American. Now, me personally, I'm just a realist. And I'm just looking at it as it is. I would say unless we take a strong, 90-degree angle turn, the future of the Black American is looking pretty sketchy. Yeah. Because, at the very heart of it, at the very heart of the community, any community, is relations between the males and females. And that is really challenged, and I've talked about it before. We see that here on social media. We see all the animosity between complete strangers, people like Dinah Samir or O'Shea or Cynthia G or Tanya K. They'll have a live stream. They'll have a conversation. And you see like this war happening between people that are otherwise complete strangers to each other. To me, that's a huge indication of, the dissension that's happening between Black men and Black women in the West, more specifically in America. I don't even see that kind of like gender war action happening in the UK. From my time living there, there is definitely a lot of interracial, but there's still some affinity. T. Kelly's here. What's up, boo? I see you there. She said, "We don't die, we multiply." It's a nice lyric, T. Kelly, but it's a nice lyric, but. And I was also thinking about this because living here in Ghana, you see a homogeneous society. Okay, you see Ghanaian people, that have been procreating with each other for centuries. And that produces like very strong genes. It gives a very distinct kind of look. And it's very interesting because those of us from the diaspora, we grow up in America thinking that, oh yeah, I'm Black and it's very evident and this and that. Some of us, when you come here, you realize, wow, I really do stand out because they are homogeneous, so they know each other. They know each other's family names. They know, they have heritage here on the continent. And it just kind of puts it in perspective of how we have actually, been removed from that, and how if we want to get back to understanding our roots, we have to actually exercise some effort to do that. But the question tonight is, will Black Americans become extinct? Based off of their really dysfunctional behavior. I know T. Kelly, she's representing from the U.S. currently, and she's playing for the home team, but we got to be real. Judging the state of the Black family, judging the state of the Black community, judging the mentality of our young people, judging the reality of what's happening to our youth. Our youth are not even being made ready for the next stage of the game: adulthood, parenthood, entrepreneurship, self-preservation. These are things that would help them endure in the future, help them survive, help them keep perpetuating our people. Okay, let me get a like count from my moderators. Okay, I'm going to actually open up the call lines to hear. This is a discussion. I have stated a little bit about my opinion, and I want to hear what you guys think. So let me get a like count, and if it's up to par, we'll open up the call lines. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. What's up, guys? I see we got 20 of you in the chat room. So big shout outs to you guys. Let's get some crowd participation. Will the Black American become extinct? I mean, if we look at the progression of the Black community over the past few decades, certainly it has been very impacted. Can we say that it's growing? Can we say that it's thriving? Are we being honest? Are we going forward? Or are we going backwards? What's the story? Morning glory. What's up, guys? Can I please get a like count from my moderators? Hello. I know T. Kelly's a moderator. What's up? Karamay, I think you're a moderator. Anybody with a wrench? Let me get a like count, please. I just want to see where we at with it. Ultra Instinct says no. Exactly. I mean, we're just having an honest conversation tonight. Okay. Based off of the direction of the community at large right now. And people will even argue what constitutes a community. Do we have a community? Can we identify it? Because in my opinion, and what I certainly see, here on YouTube and throughout social media, it's a microcosm of my people. Obviously, those of us living in our environments, we only have access to a certain sphere of our people and things like that. Social media gives us a global view. Okay. And what I see, I mean, pretty heavily is that a lot of people are operating on an individual level. They don't even care about the next man. They don't even care about the community. They don't even care about the future. They don't even care about the kids. And I think that's something that is visibly different about perhaps previous generations. Previous generations had a lot of investment and concern about the next generation. They were willing to suffer and endure different things because why? Because of the future. They didn't want their kids to go through what they had been through and blah, blah, blah. It was a motivator for them. Our modern day parents, are they in that mindset? A lot of modern day parents are kind of like, hey, get it how you live, figure things out. I had to struggle. You're going to have to struggle. It's just the way it is. Now we definitely do have some people that are willing to make the sacrifice. Can I get a like count, guys? Please. Goodness gracious. Whew. I mean, y'all is just man. I got all these moderators in here. Karamay, all I don't know. I'm having some technical difficulties today. Please bear with me. Antonio Williams says, that's what's going to happen, in my opinion, in the next 20 years. I mean, I don't know what is going on with you people. Can I get a like count, family? What's up? Can you guys not see the like counts or what? What's up, Alexis? I see you in the building. Antonio Williams says that's what's going to happen. So he's with me with the premise that, yeah, Black Americans, I mean, the way they're heading, the way they're heading. And the most dangerous thing is that it's not just like a physical thing. Obviously, we see that there's a lot of interracial and dilution. Cynthia's talking about that. There's a lot of dilution. But what is also dangerous is the mentality. Okay, the mentality of our young people, for instance, is one of inclusion. It's one of diversity, and I honestly believe that many Black people feel like they can't live without whites. First of all, they don't know how, they've been in environments where they have been dependent upon them for their well-being, for their livelihood, for their education. These people are inextricably intertwined with non-Black people, and that is a huge crutch because when you feel that you're dependent on these people, you feel like, well, what's the big deal? Why do I need to actually exercise my Blackness? Diversity's cool. I've heard a lot of Black people say, for instance, well, we're all going that way anyway. Thank you, Kira Rant. Finally. Finally. I probably had to ask a good 10 times. Kira Rant, thank you so much, sweetie. All right, great. So we have enough likes to open up the call lines. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. It's been a minute since we had a call-in show. Please talk about the topic. All right? Talk about the topic and, be expeditious with your point. What that means is, try not to be long-winded so that we can get other callers in and, whatnot. Stay on topic, okay? Today's topic is, will Black Americans become extinct? Some of us are leaning towards the yes because of their direction. They're not focused on self-preservation at all. And, one of the last-ditch efforts of self-preservation, for instance, is those of us that have relocated to the continent. We're doing that because we want to be among, raise our children, procreate, marry, establish businesses, generational wealth with other Black people. For some of us, it's taking this dramatic move because we're able to connect with like-minded people in the West. We're dealing with chocolate-covered non-Black people. Really? Cynthia Johnson says, my daughter attends a majority white school, and one day she went out with friends, and she was the only Black one. I told her never again. But that's the reality. That's the reality, especially in some communities. There will be fewer Black people or diversity, usually in rural places, usually in certain states. I've seen that the places that usually boast that much diversity are like larger cities. I'm from Ohio, and the diversity was always in the big cities: Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland. All the rest of Ohio is like rural, and you can go a couple hours out of Columbus, which is the capital, that's my hometown, and you're going to see zero, or very, very few. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Now, if you delve into what Cynthia has said even more, she's going to a white school. Okay, these people are her peers. These people are people that she is building, her lifelong networks with, or some. A lot of us, we have childhood friends that we met in third grade, friends from high school, friends from university. So she's spending the majority of her time with non-Black people. Even if she wants to prefer her own, they're not in her vicinity. What is she going to do? These are the kind of things. And it's kind of like a fire drill. Okay. Big shout out to the family. I just want to see if y'all are paying attention. Do you guys know what a fire drill is? Let me see a number one. Because the family is a little, I don't know what's happening with y'all today. Do you guys know what a fire drill is? I assume they have them internationally as well. I assume. I don't know. I didn't grow up. I grew up in America. We have fire drills. What's up, Afroscope TV? Big shout outs to you, sweetie. I just asked my first trivia question. Do you guys know what a fire drill is? Let me see a number one. Anybody who knows a fire drill. Now, the call lines are open if you have an opinion that you want to share on will Black Americans become extinct. I'm leaning towards yes. Because judging on how they're interacting with each other, judging how we are grooming the young people, judging on the violence that is happening in America, let's talk about it. Whole families are being destroyed. Whole families are being murdered and, all kind of stuff like that. That has an impact. In my day and age growing up, that kind of stuff was extremely rare. This violence has definitely escalated, over the past several decades. When I was growing up, everybody didn't have a gun. When I was growing up, there weren't school shootings. There weren't shootings in random places. There might have been a couple isolated, like, workplace situations. A lot of them would be like military guys. Military dudes fed up with their situation, whatever, go to a base, go to here and there, blah, blah, blah. Even the police brutality has escalated since I was growing up. The homosexuality, the promotion of it has escalated. Interracial dating has escalated. All these things that are having a profound effect on our people, our youth, and the future of our people. The depiction of Black people is almost, majority negative. When I was growing up, TV was positive. You know what I mean? Lots of Black sitcoms, family settings, Black families working through life when I was growing up. It wasn't uncommon in my day and age that, Black families were married. A lot of my friends I grew up with, their parents are still together or were together when we were growing up. I mean, so a lot of things are changing and not necessarily for the betterment, and we have an opportunity, for instance, to, reconnect to the continent and build families here, Black families here, whatnot. And, we even see a lot of contention with the diaspora with that. The diaspora that's still, remaining in the West. I mean, honestly, they gotta be smoking because they know that environment is hostile. And the likelihood of us impacting it and changing it is very, very slim. And that's just the truth of it. Okay. And yet it's still, they don't want to export Africa. They don't want to leave. They don't want other people leaving, and it's just like, okay, well, what are our prospects here? It'd be different if we had our own exclusive communities, something like how the Mormons rock. Okay, I guess none of you guys know. I think I want to feel like something's wrong with the chat because I've asked very basic things and you guys are either not hearing me or not participating. Because I did ask who knows what a fire drill is. I asked for number one. I got no replies. I've been asking for like counts. I only got one. The call lines are open. What's up, family? Are you guys okay? I don't know what's happening today. I asked a simple question about fire drills. I asked this in regards to Cynthia's statement. Okay. She's talking about her daughter attending a majority white school. And I spoke about her, creating networks with obviously her peers. I mean, that's, she doesn't have any choice. The thing about it is when we were growing up, we used to do fire drills. We used to do fire drills in the event of a fire. We would know what to do. Okay. And we used to do them frequently when we were kids. I think we used to have fire drills probably at least once a month or something like that at school. I remember it was kind of like a social event. We would just go out to the come out of the school and you get to see all your friends in the different classes and blah, blah, blah. The point is that when a person is young, that's when they need to be trained for how to deal with life and adulthood. Okay. If they're being trained in a different method and then you think somehow they're going to perform, this is why we in my opinion, here on YouTube and things like that, we see all this like chaos between Black men and Black women. But we got to really ask, how were those people trained? Were women trained to socialize and matriculate with Black men? Were they? Did they have that exposure? Vice versa, were Black men matriculated and groomed for Black women? Did they have that exposure? If not, what you have is people that simply grow old, but they don't have the skills to navigate life. It's not a coincidence that a lot of people that become successful in the future in relationships, become good parents and things like that, a lot of times they had exposure to that. That's how they knew how to be a good mother or knew how to be a good father. Huh? Now, there are other people that learn from the lack thereof, and decided, hey, my parents had a crazy life or whatever. I want to do better in my life. Okay, fine. But a lot of people learn from exposure. A lot of people learn from the initial training that they get and all of that. We are not giving our youth the skills to take us into the future. We're not giving them the skills to do it. Big shout outs to the family. Okay, so basically, I'm going to wrap up the live stream. I thought I would get a little crowd participation, but I guess everybody want to watch me today, but that's okay. My conclusion is, yes, they will become extinct. They absolutely will become extinct because of the direction that we're on currently. Okay, at the very, very heart of community is families. In regards to the Black community, that is a relationship between the Black male and woman. And there's so much animosity in the West, especially America. Okay, the animosity between the Black male and woman is unbelievable. Okay, and that is prohibiting us from coming together, fortifying families, therefore preparing and growing the next generation. If our kids are growing up in so much chaos, they're experiencing that in their youth. What I'm talking about here today is not even on their radar. They're not even worried about that because they're worried about survival and they're worried about things that they shouldn't have to be worried about as a child or as a youth. Things that their parents have to negotiate. Their parents should be negotiating. And because they're not being promoted and groomed, like I said, for self-preservation, they think it's okay. They don't have any reason why they should be focused on, building and sustaining a community. And I mean, there's so much division, even Black Americans don't want to get along with other Black ethnicities. They're territorial. In the U.S., you got Latinos, you got Africans, you got Caribbeans, and it's kind of like, no, this is our turf. Those are immigrants, and it's just not, it's not inviting. It's not how our ancestors work. If you actually go back to, civil rights and even prior, those our ancestors were for the unity. You had two brothers, Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King, who were able to kind of align on the subject matter of civil rights because of their love for the people. That's a Muslim brother, that's a Christian brother, that's a nonviolent brother, that's a radical brother. But guess what? They say, you know what? Let's bring this thing in a similar direction for the what? Overall benefit of our people. You got Marcus Garvey. He's from the Caribbean, advocating for Black Americans to go back to Africa. Okay. Also in relationship with Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president. That black star on the Ghanaian flag is a tribute to Marcus Garvey. So you have so much historical evidence as to how our people, from coast to coast, were operating and working together for the greater good of who? Our people. Now, when we assess where they are right now, that's not what's happening. We have a lot of backbiting. We have a lot of trivial, immature people out here in the front talking stuff. No game plan, no strategy, just anger and emotion. Our people are so emotional. And it's it's okay to be emotional. It's a human thing. But it has become a crutch of our people because they simply want to be heard. They want to be heard more than they want to rectify things. Because Black Beauty always says a lot of self-hate among Black people. Finally, Andrew remembers fire drills in school. Big shout out to Andrew. You're the only one in the chat. Between me and you and I, we're the only ones who know what a fire drill is. I don't know what's happening with the family. That's why I'm like, can y'all hear me? Because the crowd participation is yo, what's up? Everybody in the room, just like the stream right now. I hope all of you have liked the stream or get out. So basically, that was my topic tonight. I opened up the call lines for the family, but y'all didn't call in. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Just looking at things the way they are, it doesn't look very promising. And another thing, right before I close, another thing that cannot be minimalized is the violence. The violence in America is having another profound impact on our community. So many young people. For instance, I was comparing things when I was young, youth, not too long ago. When I was in a high school and things like that, I don't know anybody in my high school years who was murdered. Not one. The very first person that I lost that was a close friend of mine was someone who was 21. A girl that I went to high school with. She got into a car accident when we were 21. And that was the first, personal friend that I grew up with that passed away. And, now youth are being shot and killed at a very, very frequent rate. At certain places like Chicago, there's a lot of young people that are being killed by gun violence. And that impacts the future. Thanks. Andrew called in. Big shout out to Andrew. Thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, I'm gonna let you see me. You see I'm black now.
I was thinking I don't know if people can't hear me or what.
You see I'm African, so I just want you. But you know what? Good evening, greetings to you, sister. How you doing?
Hold on, let me get some headphones because I'm having a hard time hearing y'all.
Okay.
Get some headphones in here. Okay, go ahead. Let me see if I can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay, perfect.
But greetings to you. Hope you're having a blessed day. God bless you, sweet queen, you beautiful queen. But you know what? I want to say, when I went to a high school, Gina, in 1991 in a little town called Trussville, Alabama. And,
okay.
It was probably 10 black students out of probably 1,200 students. And very, very racist, very prejudiced. And I
Mm.
remember one of the teachers telling us, he was white. And keep in mind, this was 1991, so this should tell you to show you how old I am. I was in high school then. But he said at the rate that black men are killing each other, he said he was talking about white men. He said we're gonna have to date them. He told me that in 1991, and I never forgot that. He said that in front of me, and then he looked at me when he said that. It was weird
Wow.
because he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and so they're looking for black men to extinct each other so they can take so black women over here won't have anybody to date but them. And you starting to see that happen now. You starting to see
Yes.
more and more
Yes, it's true.
African American women turn to
With
them.
dating. Exactly, because you know what? When I was in school. I'm a little bit behind you. You know,
Oh, okay.
I graduated in 2001, but I started school in '99, so I'm a little bit behind
Right,
you.
right.
But when I was in school, black girls were not even. They was not trying to date no white boys, like at all. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Like it was like that's so lame. You know what I mean? It was so
right.
lame. And I mean, as far as the interracial, it would be more the black males with white girls. I saw that when I went to college. You know, that's when I kind of got exposed to that. But black women was like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? They was not having it. And now we see, like you said, and a lot of it does have to do with um less access, because
Yeah,
a lot of black women prefer black men would be their first choice, but because they're not around or whatever, people are taking the scapegoat, taking the other option, the less desirable option.
yeah, exactly. And but see
Yeah,
the thing,
definitely.
but Gina, and I'm not gonna hold you up. I know somebody else want to come in, but I want to say this. But see, a lot of people, you got to think about your lineage. I mean, your generational lineage is gonna be damaged from that point on. Especially you have children with these people. You
Yep,
see what I'm saying? And
I
see,
agree.
and oftentimes I've seen this, Miss Gina. A lot of times, especially if they fathered by white men, oftentimes those children grow up hating the black mother side, looking down on the black side.
Yes,
I've
looking
seen
down
that.
on the black side. Oh, it happens a lot. A lot of
Uh,
a lot of them assimilate to the non-black side. You know what I mean? A lot of them try and whatnot. And if they can actually pass, because a lot of that mixed race has to do with appearance. So if they're fair enough, or they look non-ethnic enough, they'll just live that life. They'll just
exactly,
live that life anyway. Yeah, yeah.
exactly,
So definitely.
exactly, exactly. So I just wanted to chime in, and
Thank you.
you're welcome. God bless you, Queen, and have a beautiful day. Okay,
You too. Thank you so much, Andrew.
you're welcome. God bless you. Thank you.
Big shout out to Mr. Andrew on that tip. He said that he recalls a teacher telling him, big shout out to Homer Girl here. I see with that super chat. Thank you so much. He said he recalled a white teacher telling him this back in 1991 when he was in high school that the black men are killing each other so much that they're going to become extinct, and that the white men are going to have to date the black women, because obviously the black women are going to have a shortage of men. And we definitely do see the shortage of men, especially black men in the West. And we do see a lot of black women dating outside of the ethnicity. We see a lot of, I would call them bitter black women, personally. A lot of bitter black women in the front, in the public eye, promoting this behavior, promoting swirling, promoting homosexual lifestyles or transgender, and none of this stuff is going to grow our community at the end of the day, however you feel about it. Okay. Because it's very clear what needs to happen to grow something. Okay. To grow something, it needs to be getting reproduced. It needs to be getting duplicated. Okay. That's how you grow a population. If you're not doing things that are growing a population, then it's going to do what? Get reduced. Homegirl Healer says the Black Americans who don't like and love themselves will be extinct, but B1 Black Americans will survive and thrive. We hope so. But you know, the Black Americans that don't love themselves are also a threat to us. Huh? I gotta say it. They're also a threat to us. Because they see us some kind of way. You can see that as evidenced by what goes on between, like, from, you know, the foundational Black Americans and like the Pan-African Blacks. Okay, those of us that have said, hey, we're out of the West, it's dangerous, it's crazy, we're going to go ahead and go to the continent. You see all that headbutting. You know, there's no mutual respect. Say, you know what, look, we understand for the greater good. You know, the end goal is to keep our community going. How does that happen? Partnering up with another Black person is very simple. You know, yeah, we have cultural differences. Yeah, we may have different languages, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, you know, somebody told me the other day, big shout out to Andrew on his super chat. See you, brother. Thank you so much. Somebody told me the other day that Elon Musk has angered, you know, world powers by telling us that we need to reproduce because the powers that be want machines to take over. And in other words, that's what we got to do. But you got, you know, look at the situation. Okay, we have a lot of people that are, in my opinion, not really suitable to be great parents, having loads of children, maybe not even able to take care of their children. And we have like the intelligent people like delaying life. You know, oh, I'm in school, I want to be able to take care of the kids, I want to be stable. And you have these kind of individuals prolonging starting families, and you have these other people having kids willy-nilly. You know, I don't know. You know, because and like I said, what kind of sparked this was I've been doing, you know, I've been preparing some additional episodes of my America's So Dangerous series. And, you know, some of the upcoming episodes, the whole family was wiped out. Gun violence. Mom, dad, and babies. There's one story that I read from Chicago. The mother of a child was killed a couple years ago. And then his older cousin was killed like last year. And then a 15-year-old child just got shot and killed in Chicago at the gas station last week. You see, that's a generation right there. Mom, son, cousin, these are the kind of things that are happening. I'm laughing at this acronym. Procreation is not recreation. It needs to be strategic on our part. We have to choose. And I would say that those of us, again, you know, staunch Pan-Africans, you've got to consciously do this, okay? Make sure that you are partnering up with someone that can help us stay relevant, stay and exist in the future, okay? Some people have a very naive mentality and they're like, well, what I do doesn't matter. You know, I hear that BS all the time in America. What I do in my house, it doesn't matter. Who I'm with doesn't matter, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's 6 degrees separation. Everything that we do impacts on other people, period. Okay, so don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. People want to argue with me. I'll give you an example. So let's say Andrew, you know, let's say Andrew and I, we work at the same office, okay? I think I see Andrew driving a truck, but let's just use this example. So let's say Andrew and I work in the same office, okay? And let me get somebody else. And Homegirl Healer is our boss, okay? Homegirl Healer is our boss, and she don't like Andrew because she don't like him because he's from down south, and she says she don't like his accent. She don't like that, okay? So she puts him on suspension. She said, you know what? Andrew's always messed up at work. and I didn't never like him no way. And so I'm going to put him on suspension. Now Andrew gets mad, okay? And he decides, you know what? I'm going to set a fire in the office just to scare homegirl Healer a little bit because she gets on my nerves. I'm going to set a little, little small fire in her trash can, okay? I have such a wild imagination, right? Now, look, I'm in the office, okay, minding my damn business. I have nothing to do with this feud between homegirl Healer and Andrew, okay? I'm sitting there listening to music. I smell smoke, okay? And I'm like, what the hell? And notice that the trash, the rubbish bin is on fire. Now, Andrew done put my life in danger and everybody else in the office because he's mad at homegirl Healer. This is my example of how we all affect each other, okay? You are stupid to believe that your actions have no effect on other people. Your actions have effect on other people. When we talk about whether or not Black Americans are going to become extinct, it has to do with what Black Americans are doing right here, right now. Listen, don't start no drama in my chat room, okay, homegirl Healer? That was a hypothetical example. Okay, I don't work with Andrew. He's not an arson man. He's not an arsonist. Okay, and homegirl Healer, she's a wonderful person to be around. She's not like that bitchy boss that we all hate. So basically, in other words, guys, the future of Black Americans has to do with me and you. You know, what we do, how we live our lives, who we procreate with, how we raise our kids. You know, if we want to, exist. Now, see me, I'm African. Okay, I live here on a continent. Okay, I live here on a continent. But for those of you that are still in the West and like that's your passion is like, okay, I want to still remain here and everything, then you have to consciously grow the community there. You have to be a part of it. Because if not, the way that it's going, the track that it's on, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Okay, guys, the chat room is still open. If I can take one more caller. If anybody else has any comments, will Black Americans go extinct? A lot of us are like, yo, I don't know. Based on how it's going. And like Andrew talked about, at the genesis of the community is the Black man. And there's lots of Black women that are having issues solidifying relationships with Black men for one reason or another. Now, some Black men will say, well, the Black women are the problem. They're difficult, they're this, they're that, they have too much baggage and blah, 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 blah. Okay, but my thing is like, look, there's millions of Black people, okay? Millions. All over the world. At the end of the day, you should be able to find one. I'm just being honest. And if every single one that you've been with, tried to be with, whatever, it's not working out, maybe you have to look at self and say, okay, maybe I'm contributing to these failed relationships. Io says, then we have some so-called scholars that say polygamy will save the Black race. In regards to procreating, it could be beneficial. However, it has to be done in a certain way. Simply, some people's concept of polygamy is multiple sexual partners, okay? But the actual idea of polygamy is families. Okay, extended families. So you may have one father and you have several wives and you have several offspring, but you're still supposed to be rearing those kids and you're still supposed to be growing them up as a family unit. Okay. If you're not in a position to do that, then you're not in a position to exercise polygamy as it was designed. Okay. Because you can look at, for instance, the Muslim communities, they practice polygamy, and they have been for a long time. And polygamy is also a part of African cultures and has been. And, you know, maybe under circumstances and maybe under, you know, certain parties that understand the concept and are willing to work together, it can work. I don't know. But I don't know if that's going to be able to work in the Western setting, you know, because polygamy is not really something that many Black Americans are exposed to. You know, many of them have not grown up in polygamous homes, you know, not actually formally polygamous. You know, now you have people that have extramarital relationships and kids here and there. That's not really a polygamous situation, because a polygamous situation is the parties, it's understood. Okay, the parties understand. Okay, I have multiple husbands or wives. It's much more popular from the male perspective, and you know, the people are in agreement with how it's going to go. You know, so what some people would class as polygamy in the West is not really actual polygamy. It's just extramarital relationships. It's just, you know, persons having multiple situations or maybe being promiscuous. It's not polygamy. Polygamy is a family. You know, so I don't know. Ayo. I don't know. The people just be talking. They just be talking. They talk a lot. Division is on different sides. Yeah, I agree. You know, that energy is coming from both sides. I'm not one of them people. There's some Black women that it's just like everything wrong in the world is the Black man's fault. He's completely responsible. No, that's not true. The Black man holds responsibility. The Black woman holds responsibility as well. You know, and the truth is that division is going to be the root cause of this extinction, in addition to the violence. Okay, you can't have dissension between a Black man and Black woman and then also have a lot of Black men being eliminated via, you know, murders, and then you have them in prison, and then you have the homos, and then you have the interracial. Where exactly are the Black men that's going to replenish the community? Where are they? Tiger says many of us aren't going to make it because they have no sense of self-preservation. Absolutely. I talked about this earlier in the broadcast. She said if they did, they would recognize males for the enemies they are. Absolutely. Tiger says the issue is not procreation. There are 1 billion plus Africans. The issue is deadheads. True. You know, because I would definitely agree with you. Here on the continent, the attitude is not self-preservation. The attitude is proximity. You know, our people here on the continent have been procreating with each other because that's what's in their vicinity. Not because they're making a conscious choice. Hey, we want to make sure that, you know, in 20 years, the Ghanaian population is here. You know what I mean? When they have a choice, you know, between a Black partner and a non-Black, are they consciously choosing that Black? Or are they choosing that Black because that Black is available? You see, that's real too. Because in other words, what Tiger is bringing up is, you know, as diversity comes to the continent, it will all become a threat to our population here because self-preservation is not a concept. Big shout outs to the family. All right, guys. Well, look, I have talked. And fortunately, I had Andrew come in. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for my super chat donors. I appreciate you guys today. Until we meet again, stay Black and true. If you ain't that, just stay true.